Welcome to the Protagonist Pub. My name is Tammy, and happy Halloween. So today we are going to talk about what I actually managed to read in October. And like many of you, October was a very bad reading month. I'm going to be blunt. So I managed to read a whopping 2 books for the entire month, not counting the book I finished on October 1st, which was really a September finish. 2 books. And I'm not going to talk about all the ones I started and set aside because obviously those books didn't get a fair shot. October was just a weird month. I know I'm not the only one who had trouble reading in October, and it doesn't even feel like a slump. There was no impetus to read, which is extraordinarily abnormal for me. And if you ask my husband, he would tell you it's been affecting all parts of my life, which is not a surprise. Luckily, as the month finished out, I have begun to read again. Not nearly as quickly or as voraciously as normal, but at least I'm not picking up a book, reading 5 pages, and setting it aside. So I will take those wins. So what have I read? And no, my coffee is not abnormally weak. I just don't like the taste of coffee right now, so it's tea. Okay, I've read 1 physical book, and I listened to 1 audiobook via the library. And Fireball is going to bring me her ball no matter what I do. So let's talk about the library book first. That was Apostles' Cove by William Kent Kruger. It is the 21st book in the Cork O'Connor mystery series. And it was everything I wanted it to be. So in this book, Cork is early 50s, mid 50s. So we'll just say he's right around my age. His children are growing, and his youngest son, his only son and youngest child, Stevie, comes and says, "Hey, Dad, I think one of the cases you solved when you were sheriff came up with the wrong result." And Steve's studying to become a lawyer. He's almost there. His wife is already a practicing attorney. And Cork handles this announcement from his son with absolute grace. He doesn't get defensive. He doesn't immediately default to there's no way I came up with the wrong outcome. And it becomes a dual timeline story. You go back in time to Cork solving the case 25 years ago, and you get to revisit family members who have since passed away, and it was just delightful. And then you go back to the present timeline and watch the case resolve itself. It was just a lovely example of not just the author's amazing writing style and ability and craftsmanship, but it's also an amazing example of being open to that you made mistakes in the past and the ability to rectify them in the future if possible. And it was just, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was the last book I finished in the month, and I finished it probably over a week ago. You guys know this is just not normal for me, so I highly recommend this series, and I'm really looking forward to the final book club choice for not just 2025, but the final book club choice until it goes on book club goes on hiatus. And I didn't bring my copy out here, which is Ordinary Grace by the same author. It's a standalone. It's just over 300 pages, and I know I'm going to read that one. Okay, so the physical book I read. And I'm sorry if there's background noise. There are neighbors across the street getting their trees trimmed, which is essential. So not much I can do about that. And fall has finally hit here in Texas. And it is a lovely, balmy 60 outside. I will say it was below 40 when I woke up this morning. So my physical book that I read was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is science fiction, and this is fantastic. I can't even begin to describe this book to you without spoilers. I can give sort of a brief synopsis. So, a scientist on Earth notices this weird line, and she sends it out for, to see if her findings can be validated. And what that line shows is that the sun is losing heat. And thus begins the story. Our hero of this book is a quote-unquote failed scientist who turned into a middle school science teacher. And he undertakes, very unwillingly, a mission with other scientists to save humanity and the entire planet. I could not stop reading this. And having read it, I don't know how they're going to make a movie out of it, but that movie arrives early next year, and I shall be watching it. This is very character-driven. It's very... It's not, Neil Stephenson level of hard sci-fi, but at the same time, I would not classify this as character-driven sci-fi. It's somewhere in that amorphous border. Hang on. Okay. So it's somewhere in that amorphous border between character sci-fi and the easy to middle beginnings of hard sci-fi. And it's just an emotional roller coaster ride you don't expect as the book opens up. And I loved this book. I loved the character. I loved the politics. I loved the exploration. I loved the threat. All of it. I loved all of it. So, Andy Weir is definitely high on my list these days. And this will not be by far the last book I read from him. I have... Oh, what's his other most famous one up there? The Martian. I have that upstairs to read. So, yes, I am very much looking forward to it. Okay, so let's do some housekeeping. Tomorrow is the 1st of November. There will be no November tag. Not because I didn't want to do one. I wasn't in the mood to film. No, I checked 3 or 4 times from the end of September through about the late middle of October for entries for the November tag, and none of the monthly celebrations actually sparked any interest to pull books, to look up books, to even be worth mentioning. I could have mentioned All Souls Day, which is tomorrow, All Saints Day, which is the 2nd, or Thanksgiving, but there was not sufficient material to actually do a video. So hopefully there will be one for December. And as you are probably all aware, my November Pile of Possibilities is not out yet. I will hopefully get that film this weekend. I honestly have no idea what to put on it. I am in the process of reading 2 books. First would be Fraser's at Autumn Mill by Ursi Ingle. Author's name is on the book. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I'm about a little less than a third of the way through. It's okay. It's not thrilling me. I'm enjoying the Catholic faith content in it, but I don't like the character. And I have also picked up Exodus. I have this in physical format. It's inside Exodus, the Archimedes Engine by Peter F. Hamilton. This is the first book in the Exodus duology, which is for the sci-fi video game coming out. I believe it's next year. And this is definitely hard sci-fi. I'm absolutely loving this book. Politics, the world building is fantastic. It's definitely hard science fiction. The characterization so far is superb. So I will undoubtedly read more of that this weekend. And I will figure out my Pile of Possibilities and get that filmed. So how was your October? Was it better than mine? I hope and pray that it was. Let's pray that we all have a much better reading November, because October was a challenge. Dave hit the nail on the head late this week when he said, it feels like a chore right now, and that's why you're not enjoying it. And he's right. It was feeling like a chore. So hopefully that's at an end as Fireball brings me yet another toy. Leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you here next time at the Protagonist Pub.